Hello and welcome to Board Game Gumbo. Today we're unboxing Skulk Hollow. It's a 2019 release by Pencil First Games. This is a two-player game that plays in about 40 minutes. First of all, here's our rule book. We have what looks like a little map, and it's just some world information. Here's our game board. So there are two things to notice about the game board. One is the keep, which is where the Fox player starts. And the other is the layer, where the Guardian player starts. So then we have some boards for the different Guardians that you can play as. And these are all just chipboard that pop out. Got quite a few of them. So whenever you're starting a game, whoever is playing as the Guardian will just pick one of these to play as. They do have complexity ratings. So if you're a new player, I believe they suggest actually you start with this one, which is Garm, I believe. I may have that wrong. And then whoever's playing as the Foxes can actually choose from one of several heroes to start with as well. I'll go ahead and look at one of these real quick. So there's a couple different things happening here. First of all, there's arrows on the bottom here. And this is a bit like Shadows of Colossus, where you are moving your figures. If you're the Foxes, you're actually moving your figures onto the enemy and doing damage at specific areas. These arrows tell you where you can start. So you have to first move into the space wherever this creature is, and then you can move to either one of the tunnels in the bottom left. And you can see that they only hold a certain number of units. And once those units are at those locations, they can do attacks, which will do damage specifically to those locations. And if you ever fill up a location with damage, so if you cover both of these hearts with damage, this unit can no longer use that ability, which actually is not the case in terms of this Guardian, because you see he has two areas. So I assume you'd have to cover up all four. But if you were to put somebody in the center here and cover up both these hearts, then this Guardian could no longer do the crush ability. So then we have some cards for the Guardians themselves. Once you decide which one you're going to choose, you're going to get this card in front of you. And you can see they have their names on the back. So yes, Grax is the one that you're supposed to start with, which is the big bear. So you can see a couple things here. One is the complexity. So this is a 1-star. It's supposed to be the easiest one to play. They have a hand size, which is this number. And then this is the number of actions they can do in a turn. So he's going to get 2 actions every round. There are 2 ways for the Guardians to win. First is by defeating the leader. If you ever defeat the Fox leader, you automatically win. However, each Guardian also has a unique way to win, which is down here at the bottom. Grak, if he can eliminate 8 hero units, is going to win, regardless if one of those units is the leader or not. And then Apoda here wants to collect all 4 rune tokens from the Skulk Hollow map and have them. On the side here, you'll see the explanations of their different abilities. Again, if they're damaged enough They may not have access to all of them, but just for the sake of starting the game. And then there's a special ability down here. If Grak has 9 or more wounds at the beginning of your turn, you take 1 additional action. So that's what the Guardian player is going to have in front of them. And then the Fox player is going to have their cards. So here are the Foxen Hero cards, which come in their nice, own little nice box here. Not only do they have cards, but there are some Fox meeples in there as well. And they actually have little icons on them to denote which ones are which. And these are the units that you're going to have available at the start of, or throughout the course of the game. At the start of the game, you're going to choose which one you want to be your leader. So you could choose the King of War or the Princess of Tactics. Really whichever one you want to start with. And that will be your leader. That'll be the unit that the Guardian, if they defeat, will win the game. And they all have a hand size and an action per round limit, just like the Guardian cards do. On the back, they've got just different explanations of the actions you can take. Melee, ranged attacks, prepare, leap, so on and so forth. It also gives a little setup explanation here. Oop. Then we've got the action cards themselves. So this will be what you'll draw for your hand size, are a combination of these cards that all have the same back here. And you can use them for the actions on them. If they have 2 actions, you have to choose one or the other. So you can either move, and it tells you specifically how you can move, or you can gain power. Power is something where, say you start with the King of War, he has these spots here where he can hold power cubes, and those power cubes he can use on his turn as an additional action, so in addition to his 3. But he can only use them for these 2 actions, so movement or a melee attack. Different heroes have different units, I should say, have different actions they can use those power cubes on. But these are the cards that you'll mostly be using. You got melee attacks, some missile attacks, and these are the cards you'll be using throughout your round. You also have units, which you can put out, and some of them just have health and special abilities. The rogue here can actually hold power cubes, so he can take additional actions. And then you got some archers and a sentinel. You'll always start with the sentinel. At the very beginning of the game, you'll start with whatever hero you decide to begin with and the sentinel. They'll both be on the board. You've got some boxes, some more tuck boxes in here. It looks like for the specific Guardians, because they have their own very large meeples, as well as some. This one has an additional token. You can see some very interesting looking meeples. And they have a deck of cards as well. So again, the Guardians have a hand size as well. And these are the cards that they will be drawing from on their turn. And then of course playing as their actions. You've got just a little reminder of your stats, your hand size, your actions, and your objective, your secondary objective. And then a reminder of your actions themselves, and then the cards. So again, you'll have a certain number of these in your hand, and then you'll play up to a certain number on your turn. So we've got some more tuck boxes for the other Guardians, which I won't go into. Got some more tokens here, some little heart tokens to mark damage. We've got, looks like some bone tokens here. These are actually the relic tokens, I believe. And then over here, we've got the power cubes that you can gain. Last thing we have is a little mini expansion that Pencil First also sent to us. This is the Ancient Relics expansion. And this is just going to be another deck of cards that's going to go out onto the board. It'll sit next to the board. And then you can go to, it looks like you can go to the different locations and, you know, basically like a treasure map type thing. You're going to be drawing cards, and if you go to the farm, you may find a relic there. Anyway, that's everything you're going to get, and a copy of Skulk Hollow from Pencil First Games.